37.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Hey, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
The basketball show turns 10, and we welcome a new generation of basketball talk. Hoop City with Paul Sir airs Saturday mornings from 10 till noon on Sports 1440. From grassroots to NBA to the Olympics, we've got you covered.
Hey everybody, it's Team Principe and Jason Stradler. Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, July 2026. Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Book now and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours/Edmonton.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and if you're serious about selling your used RV, then I'm serious about getting you the money you want. You're not the only one who wants to spend the winter in selling mode rather than storage mode, and we're happy to help.
People come to No Bull RV 12 months of the year, right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. A used RV is one of a kind, which means when the one you're looking for comes along, customers quickly pounce on it. So if you've outgrown your RV or you're looking to upsize, downsize, or just turn it into cash, come see us at No Bull RV.
You have to be serious about selling, though, right, Rick?
Better believe it, Bob. This is for people who truly want their RV gone. If we're going to store your RV for free all winter, it has to be priced to sell. And that's why customers come to No Bull 12 months of the year. Because you never know when the perfect used RV is going to arrive. And if it's here, it won't last long.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, Oilers trade rumors are keeping fans up late at night. Cowboys are back, baby, and the Chiefs, Bills, and other NFL powerhouses are looking for answers. It's a weird year in the NFL. We'll talk about it today. The Lowdown is brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick, family-owned, community-driven. We're making it easy. Check it out, wolfgmcbuick.com. As you know, we are on YouTube and Sports 1440 Radio, also online at iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca, and Radio Player Canada. After the show, Apple and Spotify podcast, and we tweet it out on X. And we're available anytime, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We're on Twitter, at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, at JFenwick04. And our guest today, Steve Lansky. We, of course, have declinations, too, and we'll tell you all about it in Two Shakes of a Lamb's Tail. First, though, it's time for the introductions. His devotion to sports is unparalleled. I witnessed it yesterday as he watched football all damn day at work. He did get some things done, but I can't give him like 100% like I can most days in terms of effort. But he's a great guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick.
All things considered, my work got done, and then I had enough time to go down to the food court, get some lunch, and then come back. And when I watch the first half of the Chiefs Cowboys game here,
I will say that your food choice was very good for lunch.
It was delicious. I had teriyaki chicken bowl.
Yeah. We have another introduction.
We do.
He did his best to pay attention during the football yesterday, and I give him credit. That said, there's a college game on right now. We've lost him already. Ladies and gentlemen, it's at least a portion of Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, portion's pretty. I'm really tired today. I'm really, really tired this morning. Head hurts a little.
What happened?
No, I didn't fall asleep until like maybe 3. Then I had to be up at 7:30. Go do Elks Central, which was awesome, by the way. Great conversation with Chris Morris, president and CEO of the club. Go listen to that wherever you get your podcasts. But yeah, just tired. And like you said, the Egg Bowl's on right now. Following that, we got Clean Old Fashioned Hate, which is Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So I'm on autopilot.
Yeah. I want to let people know I've got my hair in a clamp now to make sure that it just doesn't look weird, but I could change it at any minute and make it look floofy.
It's very floofy today.
Yeah. So do you want me to try the floofy look?
So what gets talked about the most on this show? Sports or your hair?
Well, it's about 50-50.
I'd say about 75-25.
I want to start here because this sort of came up on my blog this morning as well. Team Dean. Want to ask Lowetide his thoughts on Jim Matheson and his discussion with Skinner the other day. In my opinion, it's a washed up, never was, trying to make it about him. He's lucky Skinner is such a nice guy. Leon probably would have decked him from Team Dean. Well, here's what I think. Jim Matheson has been on the beat, I think, since 1972. And Jim Matheson is conducting himself as Jim Matheson wishes to conduct himself. And I don't go down into the locker room and ask questions. And others people do, and they have a right to go and ask the questions that they think are the appropriate ones. We've seen over the years all kinds of individuals get in the glue with coaches and various other personnel due to it. I think that what I can control is my own conduct, and what I do when I'm on the show or writing at The Athletic or writing at lowtide.ca, I try to keep it very respectful, but also, critical when that's earned. So I don't have Jim Matheson's job. I don't know when Jim Matheson goes into the room, what he's looking for in terms of a reaction. And I will stay out of that. Now, you are the individual who consumes sports. So if you consume this show, for instance, then I assume that you enjoy what you hear, what you read, or what you send into us and talk about. And you ultimately control all media. If media doesn't get the reaction from you, then the media doesn't survive. And I'm thrilled to be here talking to you on Sports 1440 Radio. I am thrilled. There's a lot of other cats who are well qualified or more qualified than me to be here. And one of the reasons I think that I've done, pretty well in my time writing, it's been over 20 years now, writing at Lowetide and other places, is that I do try to be fair and I do try to tell you the truth. But having said that, Jim Matheson is telling you his truth and his version of what he thinks this team is about. He had an angle, obviously, on a story, and he took it. And we've seen that in the past from other reporters. And I am never going to sit here and tell Jim Matheson how to do his job. You can consume it or not. That's your choice with all media, including myself, and certainly including Declan. Anybody got anything to say about that?
Don't love that I'm being compared to Maddie, but guess I'll take it.
He is a little older than you.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, don't you think that media, like reporters, go in with an angle? They're looking for something for their story. They're writing a story.
For sure.
They want to quote, and that's so you wasn't it Maddie who went with Mikko Koskinen? Very similar approach.
It was.
Right.
Here's the thing. I've kind of taken jabs at him here and there. I actually didn't really have much of a problem with the question. I didn't think it was that bad.
Even before the question, I just don't like maybe somebody out there is a media critic and wants to talk about it. There used to be 2 or 3 who would do that, but it's not I don't do what Jim Matheson does. So it would be like pontificating about something I don't know. I would prefer to pontificate about something I barely know, which is what I do here every weekday. And you can get as mad as me you want, but there's stuff I wouldn't do, but I'm not in that situation, and the idea is to get a story. And I will just tell you, based on my experience in media, the amount of attention that the question got is going to lead a lot of people to read Mr. Matheson's article about it, right? Like, I mean, we're not New York City where Brooksy's being told to shut up by the coach, but, was it Leon who got into, Maddie said, why are you so pissy? I'm not pissy.
That was Leon.
Yeah. So, I mean,
They
if you're
cut the
worried
media
about,
veil right after.
yeah, if you're worried about, Maddie surviving this, I don't think you should worry. He's been doing it for 53 years. I think he's good.
Can you fill me in on this? What did Jim Matheson say? Or ask?
It's online. He said fans are I can't remember the exact quote, but
Josh,
it's
the Lowdown, we come to work prepared.
no, but
I didn't know we were talking about Jim
Matheson.
Matheson. I
It's a
haven't seen
typical
this.
quote. You can find it anywhere. I've
Carl-
seen it 4 or 5 times. I just don't remember the quote.
Stuart Skinner, this is just from Edmonton Hockey Daily. The headline says Stuart Skinner has emotional answer to fans, calls for Oilers to trade him. This can't be right.
Well, that's why I do it. If you haven't seen the quote, then go find the quote, and then you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, okay, it's about trades,
right?
Stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
Speaking of trades, some interesting stuff going on with the Edmonton Oilers. I will tell you right now, I'm not enamored of any of the trades I've heard. Tristan Jarry is more money. He's older, and it's more term. And the idea that you're going to go get, if you want to get a goaltender who's going to help you, go get a guy. Remember Dwayne Rollison? They got him at the deadline in 2006. Rollison was having a really good year. Oilers gave up a first-round pick, neat and clean, and he comes over and he plays really, really well, and he gets the team into the Stanley Cup final where he promptly gets injured because Marc-Andre Bergeron threw. Was it Andrew Ladd on him? I can't remember now. Either way, that happened, but that's what you want to do. With Tristan Jarry, there's a thing called established level of ability. Basically, it's 3 years in a row where you're playing well, you're healthy, there's no other problems going on, and you're saving an above average number of goals. Stuart Skinner hasn't had that. He had a really good first year, kind of a wobbly second year, third year not so great as the starter. This year has started off poorly. Same with all of these cats. There's a little bit of wobble in all of these folks, and right now, Binnington is not playing terribly well. So what you want to do is you want to find a goalie who has, on a team that is not contending and is willing to trade their pick, likely a player who is having his contract expire. And you want to look at it and say, I want that guy because he's done it 3 years in a row, or this is his third year doing it in a row where he's consistent. And if I'm Stan Bowman, there is a possibility you trade for Jarry and he's no better and he could be worse. It's not like he's like shooting lights out. I like him, but he does not have an established level of ability, and you are going to pay a heavy price. And there's going to be a cap hit next year on top of that. And I like Jarry better than Binnington as an idea. You guys like either of those goalies?
Not particularly. I don't hate the idea of Binnington, just because I do think, and granted, one was like 6 years ago, and the other was a 4-game stretch, but I do think we've seen him elevate his game in big moments. While with all due respect to Stu, I think we've seen it shrink in big moments. He's had some big. The Dallas series were big as well, but I guess I like that one. I'm not enamored with either.
Yeah, I think that there is a sense, and we all have it, where it's like, well, this isn't working. Let's do anything else. But the Oilers have ground themselves.
Grass isn't always greener.
Right, exactly. And they've also ground themselves into a terrible situation where, quite frankly, they don't have a lot of assets. They don't have any cap room at all. And they're looking at options that are like they're not clear improvements. They're like maybes. And I just feel like this is one of those times when you're in Vegas and it's midnight and you're at the Johnny Cash and you're like, God, I got to get back 10 grand before noon. And that's not the way to do it. And I think that Stan Bowman is a veteran general manager, and he won't make a trade like that. But I said the same thing about Peter Chiarelli, and I said the same thing about Ken Holland. So some of this comes down to pressure from ownership, the fact that there's a worry about where this is going to go. And I wrote today in The Athletic about Chris Knobloch and a coaching change. And I suggested that there's no pressure on him now. He's not going to get fired. But if this malaise continues through the midway point of the season, then yeah, we're going to see a lot more pressure. Right now, I think they're looking at trade based on what we're hearing. But I don't like any of the trades that they're contemplating. And they will include young assets, and the Oilers don't have any. Like if they trade Ike Howard, what are you doing? I think you need to start as you mean to go, which is what Stan Bowman did in the summertime. He signed all these cats. Most of them are in Bakersfield, made the trade for Ike Howard, brought in Mangiapane, brought in other guys, and we're 25 games in, and the panic is that they got beat a couple of times big. They're not that far from a playoff spot. They have to play better. I get it. But my move, honest to God, would be to call up Connor Ingram, play him in Seattle.
Yeah, as I said a couple days ago, I'm with you in calling up Ingram because honestly, probably just as good as probably a slightly worse option than trading for Binnington, or I think Jar's better than Binnington. And if you have a chance, maybe you take a flyer on him. But like the difference between Ingram as the backup and Pickard as the backup is whether or not this probably the same, but I think Ingram has a higher ceiling.
Yeah. And also Pickard is playing poorly. And if Skinner's not knocking lights out, but if Pickard were playing better as he did a year ago, this would be less of an issue. They'd have more points. Yeah.
But also I think Kevin's brought this up multiple times on the morning show, is that the Oilers aren't exactly playing well in front of the goal. Like you throw anyone in between the pipes, like maybe the Avalanche don't score 9 goals, maybe they score 5, but that doesn't help you score more. And maybe the Stars only score 3 goals, but okay, then we're going to overtime, and we know what the Oilers' overtime record is this year. It's not great.
No, and they've got to work on the gapping. That's the thing. All right, we will talk about this more. I promise. I want to just spend a couple of minutes here because yesterday was like the best of the NFL. The NFL is so damn good at creating stories that are fabulous for the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys were 3-5-1, and now they're 6-5-1. And honestly, if they played the Eagles in a playoff game tomorrow, I don't know that the Eagles could beat them. And that's the beautiful thing about the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs. Are you confident in the Kansas City Chiefs right now?
Absolutely not. They have to win out essentially, right, to make the playoff stack?
Yeah, like pretty much. They kind of had to go 6 of 7 heading into last game.
It's not.
Now it's 6 of 6 because he lost.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the tiebreaker. They play the Chargers again, but they don't have the tiebreaker over the Chargers, the Bills, or the Jags, 3 teams ahead of them in the playoff race. Like, I want my flowers if the Chiefs finish 9-8 and miss the playoffs, because I called that at the beginning of the season.
I said maybe they'll miss the playoffs.
I know.
I remember
I didn't fully
you didn't
it was too scary. It was.
So you just had to be on that ledge. You were right there at the edge of greatness.
I'm gonna go find it.
Maybe, how many times have we heard? I'm going to go find the name.
No, because here's the thing. I actually
everybody since Nixon.
I do still think he
didn't want anybody.
Let me ask you guys this: if you had to bet $1 bajillion on the Chiefs making or missing the playoffs right now, which would you take?
I'm missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, guns to your head.
Okay, well, stop this. I mean,
I want everyone to understand the severity.
Yeah. Am I getting any hair comments now? I let the release.
Not as far as I'm aware.
You guys really think it's a guarantee the Chiefs just missed the playoffs?
No, you said you're going to bet $1 gajillion,
but now
I don't want to lose $1 gajillion.
Gun to your head.
So I am betting against it because you're at football's weird, man. So it could hit the wrong way, and you end up losing by 3 points or whatever. I don't think they can run the table, and you just told me they had to.
All right. Chiefs remaining schedule: Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. I think they lose one of those games.
I think they probably lose one of those games.
Either the Titans are terrible, so that should
Titans
be a win.
And Raiders, those are 2 wins for sure.
Titans and Raiders are 2 wins.
The Chargers are playing terrible football right now. I think that's a win.
But there's a chance.
I like the Chiefs in that game.
I like the Broncos to win their Thursday night football.
Are we really talking about
Christmas.
A team winning 6 in a row when they're playing as poorly as they are?
I don't see it. They're going to play the Texans next week, who have the best.
They're playing good football
they
right
have
now
the
too.
Best
they just beat the
defense
Bills
in the league.
prime time.
And they're playing in primetime again.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it, but I can't count out Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid until the clock strikes midnight.
But when you say gun to your head or bet a good $1 jillion to win or lose, I think the better bet is that they're going to lose a game and not make the playoffs. Like I don't feel a lot of danger in betting the other way.
Listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll eat the crow. But like, I
think you'll probably be right.
I think this is not the Chiefs' year. Their receiving core is poor.
All right, here we go. We have rumors on the way next. Declinations at 12:40. What is our subject today, sir?
Yeah, it's rivalry week in college football. So Josh and I will be giving our top 5 heated sports rivalries.
Okay.
And I don't know how Josh went about it. I went teams only.
I did go teams only. I did not go players.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have you paying attention to Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Egg Bowl.
And like 10-1 versus 5-6. I'm thinking Ole Miss wins this.
Bold. That's bold analysis. But listen, I'll tell you, man, Ole Miss, they don't know what's happening with Lane Kiffin. That's a real distraction. And I hate to harp on this point because I feel like it does get brought up a lot. But like, it's rivalry week, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's a 1-score game right now, midway through the third quarter. One team's the 7th ranked team in the nation. One team's 1-6 in the SEC. Anything can happen.
All right, we'll take a break. Rumors on the way. We've got Lansky at 1, Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com and call today to get started.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
I'm Gene Principe, bringing season's heatings from Legacy Heating and Cooling. For Yuletide comfort you'll love this Christmas. You should. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. There's no better way to fix your furnace. You just call Legacy. Call Legacy. They're professional, never rude, doll. You should call Legacy. Call Legacy. Plus, no interest and no principal payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Aloha, Edmonton, it's back. Century Vision Care's 4th annual Maui Christmas event on Friday, December 12th from 9 to 5. Century Vision Care, Edmonton's biggest Maui gym retailer, is bringing the island spirit to your holiday shopping. Enjoy in-house savings on all prescription and non-prescription Maui gyms, plus giveaways, prizes, snacks, and beverages all day. Same-day eye exam appointments are available, and they direct bill most insurance plans, but spots are filling fast. Get ahead on your Christmas list and treat yourself to a new pair of Maui gyms. Visit Century Vision Care on Instagram.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Black Friday is on now at GMC. Get a $1,000 Black Friday bonus on all 2025 and 2026 GMC models at participating dealers. Whether it's the bold Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab, the rugged Sierra 2500 HD AT4X, the versatile Canyon, or the adventure-ready Terrain Elevation all-wheel drive. Every drive delivers unstoppable performance and premium comfort. Get your $1,000 Black Friday bonus now. Conditions apply. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
40, 1223. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned, community driven. We make it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. It's time for Rumors, presented by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. Update from Jason Krueger from the rink. From Chris Knobloch, updating some injuries. Jack Roslovic will be out multiple weeks. Oh, my. Blocked a shot against Dallas. Declan is sneezing. Kapanen is a week at least away. Could be longer. Remember yesterday, the video of Kapanen frustratingly slinging several sticks onto the ice. That's just bad damn luck. It really is. And Jason also reporting Wallman progressing and maybe next week. So the Oilers are running a skeleton crew and, don't expect to see those cats for a while. And obviously Noah Philp on LTIR as well. Tomasic is the extra forward. Janmark not there yesterday. He's back today. Here are the lines and pairings for you. McDavid with Savoy and Hyman. Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Mangiapane. Henrique playing the wing with Janmark on the other side. And Nuge in the middle. He's back. Lazar with Frederick and Klattenberg, who will play his third game. On the blog today, I talked about the number of 20-year-olds who have been drafted outside the top 100 by the Edmonton Oilers, who have played at age 20 in the NHL. All told, including all guys who got there at any time, there's 21 players after pick 99 and to the end of the draft over the years, including Sean Van Allen, Steve Smith, Miro Shatan, Mark Habscheid, Tobias Reeder, Caleb Jones, Anatoly Semenov, Jason Chimera, Ethan Bear, Andy Moog, David Oliver, John Marino, Brandon Davidson, Mike Kesselring, Sean Podine, Todd Ewan, Vincent Desharnais, Kelly Bruckberger, Fernando Bassani, Kyle Brodziak, and Matthew Lombardi. Now, those players all played in the National Hockey League as regulars after being drafted after number 100. Even more interesting, or at least as interesting for me, is that Klattenberg is one of very few players who played in the NHL, at least a game, at the age of 20. Not very many. From that list, Ethan Bear, Miro Shatan, Kelly Bruckberger, Todd Ewan, Mark Habscheid, Andy Moog. That's it. Now, I don't think he'll play here the entire year, and I think he has things to learn. And hell, maybe this is the highlight of his career, but I think we can, at some level, project him a lot higher than we were heading into the year. There was nothing about, in terms of the math of the draft and, progress after the 2024 draft, there was nothing suggested that this was going to be his year. Now, some really smart people, Bruce Kurlock and others, were online looking at what was happening and getting a good view of him as a player, and had the feeling he was going to be, better than people thought. But this is a revelation. And, he's still, he's still developing as a player. He still has the neurons firing. He's still developing, brain paths and those sorts of things. This is going to be pretty wild stuff here for Klattenberg. And maybe he has a career like Buckberger or maybe like Zach Stortini. We don't know. But he's certainly a bigger deal than we thought. And kudos to the Oilers amateur scouts, because they did a very good job. Couple of things to pass along in terms of the NHL. Casey Middlestat has been activated, and Georgi Merkulov has been recalled by the Boston Bruins. He's a kind of a 4A player. He's very good in AAA, doesn't get the opportunities once he reaches the National Hockey League, and so he doesn't get a chance to play too much, and we are here. Craig Conroy has done his extension. We talked about it yesterday. Smart guy. He's got the Flames, I think, in a really good spot, despite the difficulty that they've had this year early on, but they're on a little bit better, footing now, and I think that they'll have a nice run here. I want to skip really quickly to football. I don't know how much we'll talk about this, but Declan, they were talking about Lane Kiffin just a minute ago, and you talked about that at length yesterday about LSU and Lane Kiffin's immediate future, and why we should be watching Lane Kiffin today on the sidelines for Ole Miss, because this might be the last chance Texaco to watch him.
Yeah, I think this is going to be his last game there. I think he is going to depart for LSU following this game. And then I think the committee is going to be in a real bind about what to do with Ole Miss in the playoff, because they're going to be 11-1. Their only loss is going to be a game against Georgia where they were leading by 15 points in the fourth quarter. Like they've put out a really good season, but all of a sudden their quarterback whisperer who turned this D2 guy, Trinidad Chambliss, into a real player isn't going to be there. Like there is no doubt they are going to be a different team without Lane Kiffin. And I'm curious to see how the committee reacts. I ended that sentence really weirdly, but
it all gets consideration, right? Like this is not good timing, obviously, for Ole Miss.
It's a cool story. Like you don't really see things like this in the NHL, right? Like you don't have, because the reality is in college football, like you can go to a bigger, better, more storied tradition with more resources and more NIL funding. And in the NHL, it's like, well, any NHL head coaching job is an NHL head coaching job. It's not created equal in college, so It makes for a really intriguing storyline. Like I've been watching this game since I got here. There must have been more shots of Lane Kiffin than I've ever seen on a coach in a football game, and they show the coach a lot.
And it's not like in the CFL, the Rough Riders win the Grey Cup, and I think it was Toronto that asked to talk to Corey Mace, and Saskatchewan said, "Yeah, go ahead," and then he declined the opportunity. That's my read of the story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right. This is a chance for him to kind of go to the big leagues of college from Ole Miss, if I'm reading it right.
Yeah. And also here's the other thing, like LSU, they're going to offer him a 5-year, $90 million contract.
Wow.
Like he's going to be one of the highest paid coaches, never having made the playoffs. But
the real reason I brought it up, and I want your opinion, because here's all I know. Like, I don't follow football like you do. All I know about Lane Kiffin is every few years he shows up in a big way in the news.
Yes.
Al Davis called him a dirty liar and said filthy things about him. Like he really did when he was with the Raiders. He was unkind, and that's putting it lightly. So, but he's always around. Like he must be a hell of a coach.
He's a very good coach. While you were asking that question, I was trying to think of an NHL comparison. There isn't really one, but he's very suave. He loves the spotlight. He's a good coach. He's not a championship winning coach and probably won't be following this year. But he is just a guy who loves the limelight and kind of loves to make it about himself. He's a curious case. I don't know. Like I wanted to say he's completely unrelated to how they coach. He's like John Tortorella, like kind of always in the media, maybe sometimes for the wrong reasons, but like is a good coach. They're very different, but that was the first name that came to mind. He's an interesting guy.
Well, I just feel like...
And they're showing him again, man. They cannot stop putting this guy on the big screen.
Well, it's the story, right? And the game isn't close, really. I mean, I guess you could say it is, but it's a 2-score game, and let's give Mississippi State credit. But I don't think anybody, feels that Ole Miss is in doubt here. But it is what I love about college football is that as popular as the NFL is, college football has no trouble getting attention, like none. They played to 100,000 on Saturday for crying out loud.
I mean, one of my favorite stats, 7 of the 10 biggest stadiums in the world. It might actually be 8 of the 10 biggest stadiums in the world are college football stadiums in the States. We had
and the other 2 were they, the Lions would eat the Christians, and they're in Europe.
Yeah, one is a cricket stadium in either India or Pakistan. I think one is a soccer stadium, yes. Or it might actually be a cricket stadium in Melbourne. And then one, the biggest, funny enough, is like a 250,000 seater in Pyongyang, North Korea.
Wow.
But yeah, we talked to Justin Sorensen on Elks 101 or on Elks Central a couple weeks ago, and he said it's just like it's what it is down there. You know what I mean? Like it is just about football. Like that's what it's about. Period. The end. So
I don't know. I either love my Notre Dame coaches or hate them.
You gotta like Marcus Freeman.
Yeah. But there have been some asshat coaches there.
Brian Kelly.
God, that guy, honest to Christ, honestly, what the hell is going on with that guy?
He got his full buyout from LSU. Hey, kind of living the American dream. He's getting paid $54 million to not work.
But he's also does he have any loyalty at all? Like any?
No. Also, this was the nail in the coffin was his first press conference. Like, we should have seen this one coming when he showed up to the first press conference to be the LSU head coach and started faking a Southern accent. we probably should have known it wasn't going to work out down there.
How do you I guess you could do it.
I want some cornbread.
But you wouldn't be able to continue it, right?
No, he gave it up like 20 minutes in. And he's such a bad guy, too.
See, I think Lane Kiffin's reputation is being as a bad guy, but maybe he's not.
He's not really a bad guy. He's just kind of a goofball.
Okay. So he'd be more like us.
He's just a silly little guy.
He's a silly little. You have a college team?
Yeah. Go blue. Michigan, baby.
Oh, you're okay. All right. Yeah.
My uncle, he's a Michigan guy, so we just sort of all adopted it.
I like that.
Their helmets are the fantastic, and the colors are great.
It's great. I watch the game every year, but
this year,
well, it'll be on.
Okay,
that's for sure. But I'll be here when it kicks off because it kicks off at like 9 a.m. or something, doesn't it?
10
a.m. Yeah. So Hoop City with Paul Sir at that time.
Yeah. It's 12:34. We've got declinations on the way. I just want to explain this and then tell the joke because it's funny. Sonny Gray got traded from St. Louis Cardinals to Boston Red Sox this week. And as part of it, St. Louis had to set a pile of money, like $20 million, because the contract was backloaded. And Ben Clemens at Fangraphs today wrote an article about it. And the line is, if Gray's contract were any more backloaded, Big Sean would be writing songs about it, which I think is really clever. All right. When you have to explain the joke, then it's maybe not so clever. Are you doing a good job paying attention, Declan, or do we need young Josh to help you on the declinations?
Oh, he's got his own. He's got his own top 5. We're going to be going. We're going to be going back and forth.
And what is it again?
Top 5
sports rivalries.
Heated sports rivalries. Yep.
Maybe I do have to coach him to pay attention. I'm kidding.
No, I was trying to think of a joke, but I didn't.
If you explain it first and then make the joke, I hear it's really funny.
Yeah,
this guy Lowetide taught me.
I just did that.
I want
one you won't have, but you should have, except one of the teams is defunct. Montreal Canadiens, Quebec Nordiques. Fantastic rivalry. Back before you were born. All right, declination straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I'm obviously
Do you think Kim Mitchell ever made the switch to solar power patio lanterns? Don't know. Maybe we'll go for soda one day. Or have a million vacations. We'll let go of the line. Do you have any Kim Mitchell, Max Webster songs you want to quote?
Oh man, no, I was actually thinking of playing Patio Lanterns.
Great song, man.
What? Give me a few other of his big hits.
Well, Go for Soda was one of my favorites.
Okay.
No, it's a really great, it's a great message song too.
Okay.
I would say, Let Go of the Line, Million Vacations. I could get you a list, but
Doug and the Slugs or Kim Mitchell?
Well, I love Kim Mitchell.
All right.
Max Webster was his band. Doug and the Slugs were, I saw them many times, party band.
They were a bar band, eh?
Oh yeah, and they were great. They were legit funny and good. You know, a very underrated band, I think. The radio played the hell out of their music because it was CanCon, but it was good music and they were wildly entertaining. They really were. All right, it's time for Declinations, brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca, article, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold, including draft coverage as we continue through the offseason. The most in-depth Double E football coverage online, elksnation.ca. And now it's a double. This is double team. We got Declinations and we got joshing around, and they've amalgamated, and they're going to come up with the top 5 sports rivalries. So it's 10 of them, right? 5 each.
Yes.
All right.
What we're doing is we're joshing around on Declinations.
We're double dipping on Declinations.
This is when a veteran broadcaster says nothing.
That's a good move.
Number 5.
Real Madrid versus Barcelona for me comes in at my number 5. I think probably the two most famous footballing nations in the world, obviously the two biggest footballing nations in the world. They're right there in terms of La Liga titles. El Clasico is the match when they play. It's just the biggest sport in the world, and it's the two most famous clubs. It couldn't not make my top 5.
That's funny. It didn't make my top 5. Number 5 for me is the Maple Leafs and the Stanley Cup. Heated rivalry.
Wow.
They just seem to really, really not like each other. They can't even be close to each other. That's how much they don't like each other. It dates back all the way to 1967, obviously.
That is, I will say this, that was clever.
Genius,
was very
right?
clever, yeah. Genius.
Other ones I toyed with for number 5, the Pittsburgh Pirates and winning. And a bunch of other baseball teams and winning, the White Sox,
yeah,
the Los Angeles Clippers and tree farms. Just a whole. Anyways, what's your number 5?
I like that. Well, my number 5 was Real Barca. My number 4, probably the preeminent North American sports rivalry. I think this is kind of the one most people think of when they think of sports rivalries here in North America. I have the Red Sox Yankees.
Yeah.
Obviously goes back a very long time. Two very famous baseball teams. Babe Ruth, that whole trade or signing, a big part of it. Curse the Bambino. Still, it's must-watch TV when the Sox and Yankees
always
play.
is. Yeah,
I have that number 4.
My number 4 is hometown rivalry, the Battle of Alberta. Everyone loves the Battle of Alberta. Obviously, there are Oiler fans out there that say it doesn't exist because the Flames have, quote, never been good. To you, I say, shut up.
But here's why it does exist. I know it was a few years ago, but do you remember the game where there was a goalie fight?
I do.
And it was just, I was in the bar.
We had a party.
I was in a bar and I'm laughing because, like, I think Yamamoto scored and then somebody else scores for Calgary. It was just a wild game. I don't remember the final score, but I remember laughing for most of it because two teams showed up and it was just like a circus.
That was their second meeting that year because their first one was the Kachuk Turtle game.
Right.
I was live in Rogers for that one. The Flames went in a shootout, and then Matthew Tkachuk, in all of his infinite wisdom, says, if you don't want to get hit, stay off the tracks, and then proceeded to like also turtle in that game. So okay. But yeah, like it's super fun. Like as me being a fan of one of the teams and growing up in the city of the opposing team, it's still fun to just like jab at each other. There's obviously the history there of, the the Oilers winning in the playoffs and the Flames just winning in Battle of Alberta, and it doesn't matter. But
well, there's not a lot of fun involved in my number 3 because I have India and Pakistan in cricket.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, second biggest sport in the world, I think, in terms of global popularity behind soccer. It's called soccer. But yeah, India and Pakistan in cricket, obviously 2 nations that border each other. Huge religious divide, Muslim versus Hindu, generally speaking. These cricket matches will get like 1 billion viewers, essentially. Like it's huge, it's cultural, it's deep rooted. There's a lot of animosity. It's not a lot of like I don't know, when you look at some of the other rivalries, like it's heated for sure, but it's kind of all good fun. It's not really all good fun and love with India, Pakistan, and cricket. And I'm obviously not the biggest cricket guy in the world, but just knowing what I do know, this comes in at number 3.
If we're talking universal rivalries, that had to be there.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. My number 3, we're going to go back on the fun track here. It's the game, Ohio State and Michigan. It's been going on.
Not that fun though either.
I love watching the game every year. This has been going on since October 18th, 1897. This is per Britannica. Yep. So that's cool. And they've been playing annually since 1918. This is literally called the game. And people know what you're talking about. Not everybody, but people know what you're talking about. It is the game. You're like, oh, I'm going to watch the game today. It's oh yeah, Ohio State, Michigan. It's the reason there's a reason this gets the most press coverage.
Oh yeah,
for any college football matchup of the year.
And if you don't win that game, you don't win your season.
Exactly, right? Michigan currently holds the all-time record, going 62 and 52 and 6. There's ties. There was ties.
Yeah.
All right. So that's my number 3. Go Blue tomorrow as of 10 a.m.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I have it number 2, and this is another one. Like this isn't near the level of some of those European soccer rivalries, or like I just mentioned, the India, Pakistan, and cricket. But like Michigan, Ohio State is pretty deep seated. That's the North American rivalry that's closest to being on the level of some of those European rivalries. Like obviously, when you have 100 National Guardsmen and you're seated on different stadiums and different sides of the stadium and have to be taken into the tunnels under the tunnels at different times, like some of those European soccer matches, that's kind of a different level. Michigan, Ohio State isn't that, but it is pretty deep seated. It is pretty heated. Josh mentioned it perfectly. It's called the game for a reason. And it comes in at my number 2, and we're going to see it tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Love it. Love it.
My list, obviously a lot more North American, because my number 2 is Lakers and Celtics, the most historic rivalry in the NBA, because it's against the 2 most winningest franchises in the league's history, and they've had awesome players through like every stage of the NBA who have just hated each other. I think Tatum and obviously Luka and Tatum met up in the finals 2 years ago, and now one of them's on the Lakers and one of them's still on the Celtics. So maybe we get a newest addition. But they have Russell and Wilt. It's like Wilt at that time, greatest player to ever live. He might still be if they had counting stats all the way back when. But Russell has the rings, team guy versus Wilt being a selfish guy.
Well, team quality, right?
Yeah. And then like Bird and Magic in the 80s, they openly hated each other, and then they retired and now buddy. But like during that time, it was awesome. And then like Kobe Bryant versus the 2008 team of the Celtics, 4-headed giant to stop Kobe Bean Bryant.
What year did Joel Gray ask Kobe if he was working hard or, doing his best?
Had to be like 01 or 02.
Yeah. I remember thinking
maybe
to myself,
02 or 03.
Like that's
would have been the end of the Kobe Shaq era.
Yeah.
That would be like, that's some ballsy question right there.
It's a Jim Matheson question to Stuart Skinner. That's what that is.
Real.
I mean, bigger stage though, right? Because that was after.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was right on the court, I believe.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my number 1. I don't know how familiar people are with this, but it's, I think, fully deserving of being number 1. Boca Juniors versus River Plate. There, it's an Argentinian soccer rivalry, and even if you don't know it by name, I'm sure you've seen clips of it, because this is kind of like, this is what you see when you see fires in the stadiums and when you see big fences up separating fan bases, and when you like, this is a history marred with a lot of violence. It's marred with a lot of like, there have been some ugly events attached to this. From what I've read about it, and there was actually a sports writer who said that rivalry makes the Old Firm, which is the Celtic Rangers rivalry, which is no cakewalk in itself. He says it makes the Old Firm match look like a kickabout in the schoolyard after school. Like, this is one that's hugely politically divided. I think Boca Juniors is working class. River Plate is they're like the kind of the richer fan base. But yeah, like I said, you've probably seen clips of the stadium like up in flames, people with torches and fireworks. This is kind of the one you think of when you think of two fan bases who just can't be near each other and don't like each other. Comes into my number one.
Don't they all sit on the Lowetide.
Oh, go ahead.
Don't they all sit on the opposite sides of the arena? No one's allowed to sit in the middle. And then they're still and they have the fences and they're still like hurling stuff across the stadium to try and hit people with things.
Oh yeah.
In Britain, I don't know if they still do it, but in Britain, like half an hour before England plays an international, there are individuals who have to report themselves to the local constabulary and get locked up for the game. So they can't carouse and cause. One thing I have a question about, and I'm not a soccer guy, although I do love watching World Cup and the Euro. Argentina, 48 million people. Now, Brazil's over 200 million. But Argentina at soccer is so wildly successful. It's like Portugal has like 11 million people, and they produce soccer players like, an assembly line. And I've always wondered why Argentina, not like Brazil is a slouch at soccer, but why Argentina has been so successful. They seem to get the brilliant, elite, generational types.
Yeah, I think it's just they absolutely have, like with Messi and Maradona most famously. I just think it's something that it's so ingrained into their culture. It's like you grow up, like in Canada, you grow up wanting to be a hockey player. In England, you grow up wanting to sit at the pub every night. In Argentina, you grow up wanting to be a famous soccer player.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was being a little harsh on Britain there, but it's just something that's so ingrained, and it's like any athletic resources that, like, it's not divvied up there.
No, but Britain,
if you're in athletics, you're playing soccer.
Yeah, but Britain does have some passions, like taking all of the interesting artifacts from other countries and taking them to the British Museum.
Zinger.
They do well, But I've always wondered that about soccer, about like I feel like what I'd like to read.
It's also like that's more people than Canada, and look how we do at hockey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But what I'd like to read about Argentina is that they're more creative when they're small, like when they're kids, that they are allowed to be more creative. Because I mean, I don't know how many kids you have to play, have to have playing soccer to get a Messi, but I know that Argentina does it, and I don't know why America doesn't, for instance. Like the United States has a lot of people.
They should be better. But I mean, if you're an American, why would you play soccer when you could play football or basketball or baseball, the sports that you grew up having, ingrained as part of your society?
Speaking of which, my number one, Yankees, Red Sox.
Yeah.
Love Yankees, Red Sox. Shout out to 2003 when the Yankees were up 3-0 and they blew it, or 04.
04, I think.
04.
I remember when Dave Roberts stole second base, I said to everybody in the house, which was the dog and my kids and my wife, I said, if they come back and win this, remember that stolen base. And damned if they didn't do it. Nobody remembered.
They did it. And now, and obviously Yankees fans are so rah, Yankees, everything. Yeah. But you blew the first 3-0 lead in professional sports history.
Yeah.
You just say, after 04, you think you would learn to shut up. It's like you got a Yankees fan by everything right there.
I can't make fun of the Yankees anymore because they acquired Tim Raines and he won his World Series rings with them. So I can't say anything. But one of the things that drives me nuts about Yankee lore is that Derek Jeter is he has ascended to beyond iconic status. He is untouchable. And the way people talk about him is like he's perfect, and he was not perfect. And he was a great player, no doubt about it. But it does irritate me that the lore around him, because it's the Yankees, has reached these heights where you can't even say anything negative about him because Jeter is regarded as being, baseball Jesus.
Do you think that's what it's like with Babe Ruth? But we weren't alive
maybe
by the time. So maybe he wasn't obviously he was really, really good. And so is Derek Jeter, but it's so blown out of proportion that Ted Williams or something, it would be like Babe Ruth really wasn't all that.
Well, one thing about Ruth that I do know is that he got like he made himself ill by overindulgence a lot, and so what I've always thought about is he could have been a better player than he was.
How's he doing against Paul Skeens, though?
Well, I mean, it would take him a few weeks to catch up to that.
3
pitch.
straight strikes.
Give him a year, and he'd hit the ball to the outfield. I mean, different eras, obviously, right?
Did we miss anything that jumped out to you?
No, I thought you did a really great job. I really did. And I love that you didn't just limit it, right? Like I would have been a little disappointed if you had said something like, Vancouver and, Edmonton or whatever. I think you had it all. Even though they're in down periods, when Calgary and Edmonton are both good, there's a certain acid. I mean, I hated the Flames. I lived in Red Deer, and I hated the Flames in the 8th. I hated them. And by the time Lanny scored that goal, I was pretty happy because they'd lost so many things to the Edmonton Oilers over the 80s. They just had lost it all. They deserved to have that Stanley Cup, and I'm glad for Lanny McDonald.
First honorable mention, Vancouver Canucks fans in general politeness.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah,
they're really good at that. If there was ever a fan base that could avoid the classy route, it would be Vancouver.
Vancouver Canucks fans and not telling you how awesome
no,
their city
sorry,
is.
Lowetide Philly fans.
Oh, come on now. Santa had it coming.
Oh, whatever.
He did.
Philly fans, at least it's like, what they are. Like, they're just a toxic, deep-rooted, hatred-filled fan base. Like Vancouver
for
fans,
everybody, including their own.
You just pretend to live in LA.
Like Santa had a bad year that year. That's why the Philadelphia Eagles fans.
Santa was having a bad year. How does Santa have a bad year?
Well, didn't get the right toys.
I guess so. All right.
I mean, I don't want to rip on Santa here live on the radio, but he puts on.
It's a good idea because he can see you when you're sleeping and he knows when you're awake.
Knows if you've been bad or good.
Santa has sent me,
for goodness sake,
big white tube socks for the last 50 years, and I'm kind of, I'm hoping for something else. All right, coming up, it's Steve Lansky at 1:00. Lots of your comments. We're going to tee it up. We're going to talk about the Oilers, the practice lines, the injuries, the trade rumors. Oh my God, it's all straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors, Inc. Floors done right for your homes or your businesses. You can visit the new showroom at 115-771 49th Street, and it's now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 to 2, or visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring your next flooring project to life. Edmonton Oilers news per Jason Gregor. Some injury updates via coach Chris Knobloch. Jack Rostovich will be out multiple weeks. Captain is a week at least and could be longer. And Jake Wallman is progressing and may be in next week. Edmonton Oilers, of course, playing tomorrow against the Seattle Kraken. Scores in the NHL. One final from earlier today saw the Lightning over the Red Wings 6-3. One game right now sees the Rangers lead the Bruins 4-0. And in about 30 minutes time, we're going to see the Avs and the Wild. College football scores right now. 7th-ranked Ole Miss leads Mississippi State 31-13 with 11:40 to go in the fourth quarter of the Egg Bowl. And it's Utah, the 13th ranked team in the nation, up 24-14 on Kansas, also in the fourth quarter. Kicking off in just a few moments' time on Prime Video here is the Bears-Eagles in an NFL matchup, and in the NBA, we're going to all get going at 5:30. Cavs and Hawks, Sixers and Nets, and Bulls and Charlotte Hornets kicking off the action. In the WHL tonight, we're going to see the Edmonton Oil Kings in Red Deer taking on the Rebels. 7 p.m. puck drop for that one. BCHL action, we'll see the Sherwood Park Crusaders in Brooks and the Spruce Grove Saints playing host to the Surrey Eagles. Puck drop for both of those games at 7. AJ will see Grand Prairie and Drayton Valley, Devon and Fort McMurray, Camrose and Drumheller, and Whitecourt and Bonnyville all tonight, all with a puck drop at 7. And in the Canadian curling trials, Rachel Homan currently leading Christina Black 5-3 in the 10th end. Black curling with the hammer, and it was Dunstone over McEwen yesterday. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, We are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Weekends were made for Oil Kings Hockey at Rogers Place. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
This Family Fun Sunday, your Edmonton Oil Kings take on the Saskatoon Blades. Enjoy the kids' fun zone with face painting and bouncy castles.
And it's Crazy Hair Day. Sculpt your wackiest hairdo and you could win prizes like teddy bear toss tickets, a team signed jersey, and more.
Plus, score Calma Kids Food Combos for $10 or less.
Oil Kings Blades. Crazy Hair Day, 4 p.m. this Family Fun Sunday.
Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
The basketball show turns 10, and we welcome a new generation of basketball talk. Hoop City with Paul Sir airs Saturday mornings from 10 till noon on Sports 1440. From grassroots to NBA to the Olympics, we've got you covered.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Mission Rally and Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. with Tridom, tandem, and single axle trucks, including tractors, decks, dumps, plows, vacs, man lifts, pickers, refuse trucks, and more. Info at maauctions.com.
Born from work, built for play. Carhartt's all-new Super Ducks tech jackets are built for hard-working people who can't sacrifice mobility for durability. This ultra-tough gear fights off wind, snow, and cold, while full-swing technology flexes with every move and still packs 3M insulation for maximum warmth. Try your new Carhartt Super Ducks at JobSite Workwear. 3 locations in Edmonton and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
JobSite Workwear, tough people, tough jobs.
Mission Rail and Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring graders, excavators, forklifts, loaders, man lifts, skid steers, plus commercial trailers including 3 unused 2023 Timmins 55-ton triaxle lowboys. Info at maauctions.com.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick, family owned and community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. We're just a little after 1 o'clock, and we are delighted to be joined by Steve Lansky from Inside the Truck Podcast. Steve Areno, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm wondering how much college football / NFL football you get to these days, and as we get closer and closer to the bowl games and the playoffs.
I will get to more as time goes along, but I must tell you, I feel like as I'm getting older, there's just a certain amount of space in my brain for sporting events, and I have to pick and choose. So I have not watched as much NFL this year as I would like to. I mean, I think you and I both would probably just spend all of Sunday in our PJs if we could, just watching all day, but I can't do that anymore. I could in my 20s. I can't now.
Well, I'm at an age now where I just can't sit that long just for health reasons. I've got to get up and move around, right? And I had to make a choice years ago about what I would, watch a lot of. and I decided to give up Sundays, and I watch the highlights and whatever. But the NFL is like it's kind of an all-in league, and my all-in league is the NHL, because obviously I write and cover and talk about the Edmonton Oilers. So I don't really have time. And then once you get out of, like, once your knowledge of the ins and outs and the exact moment of the game lapses a little bit, it's more difficult to get into it. I was watching the Cowboys yesterday, and they've morphed a couple of times this year. They've won 3 in a row, and now they look damn dangerous. And I was kind of gloating and looking and being happy because I'm an Eagles fan, and now they look really good. And if you're paying close attention to that, it's not quite as surprising.
It's funny, the way you said, like, you have to make, I can't remember exactly what term you used, but what league you're going to go all in on and stuff like that. And I guess I'm in a different boat, because having worked in hockey forever, I'm kind of always going to be there. But I remember when I did CFL for 2 years, oh my God, I woke up thinking about the CFL, went to bed thinking about the CFL. Like, you get so immersed. And then when you go off to do something else, it's like, well, I'll still pay attention. And then it kind of drifts over time, which kind of makes me sad, but I think it's just the way it's got to be.
Yeah, it is. And I think as one gets older, in ways you have more time, but you also have other things that are, I guess, life, like that sort of, dictates, you've got to watch a few movies with your wife and criticize the boom mics that you see. That's something you got to do.
And then, you know what? You make a very valid point, because we were at a documentary film festival last week. We went to like 9 films in 5 days, I think it was. And it's like, yeah, is this what I want my life to be? Sitting on the sofa all day watching games? And at one point it was fine, but now it's like, yeah, I don't really want my life to be that.
Yeah, it's true. Lots of rumors, Steve, about the Oilers going out and getting a goaltender to replace Stuart Skinner and or Calvin Pickard. Bennington in St. Louis has been mentioned. Jari in Pittsburgh has been mentioned. Are you one of those who just doesn't care, go get the best guy, but just make the move, as opposed to, waiting on a goaltender to come available that you really think is outstanding?
Kind of in the middle, but I really am. I'm right on the fence. I'm right on the line, right on the 50. I think that there's got to be something done, and we're close to just something is better than nothing. And when I heard about Bennington, I thought, well, and I don't know how old Stuart Skinner's 25. Is that about how old he is? I think that you're obviously losing 7 years, because Bennington's 32. But geez, the guy won a Stanley Cup at the Four Nations. He was rock solid. I'm looking for the drawback there. I can't really see it.
Right. The Oilers, I've been very interested this week in the comments of Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, others as well. You do reach, bottom is reached when the leaders of the team are saying they don't have the answers, and I think we're kind of there. And in a way, that's difficult, and it should never happen. But in another way, maybe this is, once you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go. I'm expecting a different look. I think the gaps will be less against Seattle between defense and forwards. And no matter who they get in goal, they've just got to play better, especially defensively. Fair?
It's such a, no offense, but it's such a silly statement, and I do it too. They've got to play better. The hell does that, right? What does that even mean? But you're right. They do. They have to play better. But what it is it's 1,000 little things. So play better means 1,000 little things, literally 1,000, have to change. 20 within each guy. Whatever it is, things have to change. And how do you motivate guys to change things? Well, some guys are easily motivated to change things, and some guys aren't. It's funny. I read an article yesterday, but it was 41 years old. It was from 1984, and it was about Glenn Stay. They're talking about Paul Coffey. And he said, 1984 now, keep in mind, this year they won the Stanley Cup. This is after they won their first Stanley Cup. And he said, some nights he looks like a Hall of Famer, and other nights he looks like a, junior hockey player. But the mistakes are becoming less and less. And I thought, geez, Glenn, why would you say that? It's like, you won a Stanley Cup. This guy is clearly the linchpin of your defense. and you're still doing this to him 4 years after he came in the NHL. And I thought, you know what? Glenn didn't have the answer to everything, because that was not the way to motivate Paul Coffey. But how you motivate 20 guys, 23 guys, I think that is one of the, I'll die not understanding this Oilers team and that mystery.
Yeah, I remember living through that period, and Paul Coffey was such a unique individual, because as great a team as that was, Wayne Gretzky was the best player of all time. Mark Messier, just the best player of his type since Gordie Howe, and on it went. Kamikaze Anderson, they had Yari Curry. It was just like, it was an all-star cast. But Coffey, even in that, there were things that Paul Coffey did that were like truly beautiful on ice. Like, his skating was so compelling that you almost were mesmerized by it. And so, like, I understand his defensive deficiencies and whatever the case may be. And I do know that he was a player who divided, fans and drove coaches to distraction. But he was a beautiful hockey player.
It's funny. I never, ever looked at him as a fan and as a TV producer at that time. I never looked at him as a liability. It just never, because I always thought the pros far, far, far outweighed the cons. Yeah. You're right. He was the most beautiful player to watch I have ever seen in my life. People say, oh, Mario Lemieux could do this. Yeah, I get it. Some of those guys are unbelievably talented individually. But if you're just talking about aesthetics and flow and pleasing to the eye, which I realize count for zero, man, he was right up there. But he was almost one of the most reluctant stars I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I think he'd have been happy to be doing any other job, but this is the talent that he was given. And he's like, man, I got to do this, but I don't want to be in that spotlight. I really don't.
Yeah, I remember his interviews on ITV with either Dancy or it was probably Spellacy. Yeah. And it was halting, and it was, Spellacy was a very fine broadcaster and interviewer, but it wasn't, I mean, Fuhrer wasn't great either, because he would just say, yeah, oh, shucks, oh, I stopped that puck, blah, blah, blah. But Coffey didn't seem comfortable in his own skin when the media was talking to him.
No, not in the least. And it's funny, as you were talking, this would have been about 10 years ago. I'm at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. It was probably called Air Canada Centre then. And we're in an elevator, and there's about 15 people, and the doors are closing, and it starts to go down, and I'm by the button, and Paul Coffey is walking towards the elevator. And I push the button, and I open the door, and he kind of said, oh, thanks, as he got on. And I said, hey, dude, when you score 48, people wait for you in the elevator. And a bunch of people laughed who got it. A bunch of people had no clue what I was saying. And he kind of looked like, oh, gosh. Like he just didn't know which way to turn. Yeah. And so I thought, I didn't say anything else, but I thought he might laugh. But he didn't really laugh. He was just like, oh, I just want to get in the elevator and nobody knows who I am. You're in the arena. You're Paul Coffey. You're in the Hockey Hall of Fame. But he was like, no, I'm fine. I don't need to be pointed out at all.
Hockey players are so funny that way. One of my favorite stories about a hockey player is about Guy Lapointe. He had, after his career, he'd gone at, I think, scouting with the St. Louis Blues, and an individual who was covering the Blues and talking about the draft. He was meeting with a bunch of guys, and Lapointe happened to be there. Lapointe walks over and he says, "Hi, I'm Guy Lapointe. I'm one of the one of the scouts." And the guy was, I can't believe that Guy Lapointe felt a need to go over and introduce himself to me after all the things that he did on the ice with the Montreal Canadiens. But there are people who are like famous like that who really don't, they're unassuming. They don't feel as though that's something that they own.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I guess you don't get to choose your athletic ability. Like if you said to me, pick an athlete who's, more full of himself than anybody else. The first guy that popped in my mind was Bobby Hull. Like Bobby Hull was so full of Bobby Hull. He'd sign autographs and stuff like that, but Bobby Hull was there to promote Bobby Hull. Yeah. And then there's other guys who are just, if I could just show up to the rink magically, disappear, show up for the next game, then disappear, I would be just as happy with that. There's a whole bunch of those guys.
Getting a lot of requests for this question. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I know you'll handle it well. In a exchange scrum yesterday, or the day before, but I think it was yesterday, Jim Matheson was talking to Stuart Skinner, and Matheson says the fan wants, every time you turn around, they want another goalie. Don't want you. I mean, that must hurt. A lot of people are reacting to that and feeling like it's over the line. I explained my opinion earlier, Steve, saying that Matheson goes into the room, he gets a quote. That's part of the article he's obviously writing. I feel like that's his business. Whether or not I would do it or approve of it is immaterial. Jim Matheson has been doing it since the 70s, and he has free reign within the context of the interview process, and that was a question he felt was appropriate, and I just don't feel a need to jump in and say it was wrong. What is your feeling on that?
Yeah, good question. Gray area for me. I don't like it in a scrum because it's very hard with all those eyes on you at that moment. And I think that's a bit of an ambush in a scrum. Now, if you were sitting quietly in a quarter and one-on-one, I think that's different. Because then you can say, listen, I need to ask you a question, please feel free to answer it any way you want. Like, you can preface it, but in a scrum, you just have to blurt it out. And I think that's a bit of an ambush. I would say I don't love it. That would be my answer.
I feel like the access to the orders is so limited that and I have no skin in the game here. It's not an issue that I consider to be central to what I do, but I think that it's somewhat limited. The other thing is, I do think that there are markets where that question would not have received a sideways glance from anybody. Edmonton tends to be a little different kind of a market. Is that fair?
It does, and I would also say, and I want to measure my words carefully here, there is a love for Stuart Skinner in Edmonton that I don't fully understand. It might have something to do with that he's from Edmonton. Very nice guy. We're not paying you to be a nice guy. We're paying you to stop pucks. So there's a little, and I don't want to get too pointed, but to me, I think the love for him isn't necessarily commensurate or what it necessarily should be in Edmonton based on performance. But I mean, I understand why Maddie would do that. And I think part of it is reporters will ask something to get an inflammatory answer. But I think we got to reach a point where, I mean, these guys are people. Stuart Skinner's got stupid. He gets it. I just wouldn't do it in that setting. I certainly wouldn't use that answer on television. I can tell you that.
Steve Lansky, our guest, Inside the Truck podcast on Sports 1440 and the Lowdown with Lowetide. I want to continue this, but I want to do it in a different vein. And this is the idea that I have. I feel like, and I've seen it before. Honestly, I have, Steve, over the years. I feel like, going back certainly to Tom Pody, maybe even Jason Arnott, there comes a point where in this market, and probably in others that I'm not as familiar with, there's a tipping point where the player himself is probably better off going to a new city. And I'm not saying that as an excuse or as an out, but I think that Stuart Skinner, like Devin Dubnyk a decade ago, has sort of spent too long at the fair. And we have to remember he came in as a backup. Jack Campbell was unable to handle the big load, and then he stepped in and did it. And he's obviously done it to the best of his ability. But there's a time for change, and I think it would be a good change for him too. And I'm not hoping for a trade today. I'm just saying a year from now, I think he'll be in a happier place. I know Justin Schultz was.
I can't argue with any of that because these are people's lives. I mean, it's their livelihood, but it's also their life. And we talked about Paul Coffey. Paul Coffey goes to Pittsburgh and wins 2 Stanley Cups. Oh, man, we got rid of him. He could have won 2 cups here. No, he couldn't. He was done there. He didn't want to be there. His mind had gone somewhere else. We're also talking about people. When you talk about Jason Arnott and Tom Pody and Stuart Skinner, it's not a bad thing to change the company that you work for. And that's basically all you're talking about. If it was the same, everybody would be Steve Yzerman. They'd have played for Detroit for 22 years. But how many people of those are there? Hardly any. Even Guy Lafleur didn't play for Montreal for his whole career, which is insane. So I understand that aspect different component completely.
I would also say, if we're talking about Paul Coffey, one of the reasons he wanted to leave is the owner threw him on the bus and basically said that he had no heart and was playing shy and wasn't tough enough. And there was a lot of verbal from Pocklington that really, soured that relationship. And it did. I think it made it untenable. He had to go.
And unfortunately, Peter would have got a lot of that from Glenn because Peter wasn't going to split any atoms. So if he hears Glenn say it, then Peter's going to spit it out. And yeah, Koff's got to be like, I don't need this. I don't need this. I'm busting my you-know-what I got three cups in Edmonton. I don't need this.
Yeah, exactly. I have to tell you that I love having you on every week, but your small little dig at Peter Pocklington there that maybe some people didn't even hear was brilliant.
I'd love to say, listen, he came in my house, he took his shoes off, and he put his feet on my parents' glass top table. I knew all I needed to know about Peter Pocklington right there, baby.
All right, you rock. You're the best. Thank you, Lansky. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Al. You too, pal.
There you go. 119. We're a little late for the break. We've got lots of comments from you on the Maddie thing and more next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Hey everybody, it's Chief Principe and Jason Stradler. Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more.
While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe,
Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more.
Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip.
Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, July 2026. Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Book now and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours/Edmonton.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
5-time Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints, are excited to be back on the ice at the brand new Thompson Family Arena. Be part of the action and enjoy some of the best Junior Hockey Canada has to offer by experiencing a Saints game for your next outing. Tickets range from $10 to $17 with free parking and some of the best food and drink specials in town. For more information on tickets and how you can become a partner, go to sgsaints.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Hey, you know winter is really freaking cold, right? So play it smart. Don't get caught freezing in your car with your pants down and no power. At Big Toy Shop right now, lead-acid batteries are just $129. $129 is a great price for a good start. Big Toy Shop. Power up and save some bucks at Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road, 780-298-2797.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Great music today, Declan. You've done exceptionally well.
I have good music taste.
You started out with Happy Days, and that's a tough one to overcome, but you did it.
That song's awesome.
Well, it's just that I've heard it so many times.
Because you watch the show.
Every week.
Yep.
Every week. It was a great show. Good afternoon, Lowetide.
Joni, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say Joni loves Chachi, but you had already moved on.
Oh, man. Good afternoon. Do you know that Mork and Mindy started there? Mork?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Good afternoon, Lowetide. Thank God somebody has said that, but I would be better for his career as well as I think the Oilers maybe think it's time for him to move on. You can be too long at the fair. You can be, I mean, and I know Declan is staring at me right now in saying that, but you can. Stuart Skinner arrived as a guy that, is the backup and was going to emerge and they were going to play. And then he immediately became the starter and he did a really good job. But as I said earlier, last hour, in order to be a goaltender you want to go to war with in the Stanley Cup playoffs, I think 3 years of consistent performance is what you're looking for. I don't see it in Binnington. I do not see it in Jari. I don't see it in Skinner, and I don't see it in Pickard. So my suggestion would be to wait. I think Rolison was pretty well qualified when he got here. He was a little older, but he was really well qualified to get them where I thought Kevin Lowe had the great deadline, like a fantastic deadline in 06. And maybe that's what Stan Bowman needs to do, including a goaltender. And I believe that they will be in the Stanley Cup playoffs. John says, I disagree with Steve that there's love for Stu that doesn't match his performance. It's got nothing to do with love at this point. Stu just represents being right or wrong in a debate that many people are having at this point. But I think I'm going to just push back a little bit on that because I think there was always room to have, a disagreement. But it's not enough now to say, well, I disagree with you. People won't accept that. They have to, pummel you. And if it's Twitter, get all their buddies to come over and rain down blows upon you. It's very much pack mentality. And so what we lose is nuance and the ability to say, like, for instance, I really like Stuart Skinner. I believe in him, and I hope that he is on this team when they win a Stanley Cup, and I hope he's in net when they win it. That said, I have come to believe that it is time to move on. And it's time to go get another goaltender. I would prefer Skinner be the 1B to the 1A that they acquire. But if it's Calvin Pickard who's the backup, then so be it. But all of that said, I still think there are people out there like, I can't understand why you feel that way. Well, I don't think that's necessarily the important part of it. You understanding how I feel that way isn't as important as you and I agreeing that we can have differing opinions and still be adults. That's sort of where I am with all of this. This is not, splitting the atom. We're not about to go in and do, heart surgery. We're talking about a hockey team and a goalie. Lowetide, here's a legit question for you on the Happy Days topic. My wife and I had this talk. Do you remember Pat Moritz as Arnold or Mr. Miyagi?
Oh. Miyagi from Karate Kid.
I can't believe you made that mistake when it's like a constant line in the movie.
Well, I'm thinking about this out loud, right? Like, I think of him as the Happy Days character.
For me, Karate Kid.
Pat Morita is Mr. Miyagi.
I saw the Karate Kid once.
What? You've only seen it once? You haven't rewatched it a million times?
I went to the theater. It was okay. It's like E.T. I thought Poltergeist was a better movie.
Okay. You know what? Poltergeist actually is a great movie.
Pretty good.
This is the thing. Karate Kid, I'll give you this. You don't need to watch that one 5 or 10 times.
No, you don't.
Probably you got to get up to 2 or 3 though.
Nah, come on. Shawshank Redemption. You can watch that.
Okay, but that's like comparing a rocket ship to apples.
Okay, but
that's like comparing Connor Hellebuck to Stuart Skinner.
Look, I don't watch movies 10 times. I've said, like, I knew when I was leaving the theater after watching Sophie's Choice, I knew I was never going to watch it again.
Yeah, but it's Sophie's Choice. There's some movies you watch and you're like, hey, that was great, but I'm never watching it again. American Psycho for me.
I didn't walk out of Prince of Tides as a courtesy. I'll never watch that again. I will watch Outlaw Josie Wales 15 times.
Yeah.
Bears just scored.
And you keep inviting me to watch Caligula, so there's that.
Well, because there's a lot of good dialogue in there that people miss.
Anyways, Daniel LaRusso, what a loser. Anyways, he's not very good in that. He's not very nice. He's not a good guy. I don't know why Elizabeth Shue is into him in that movie.
Well,
he's just
it's
a crummy dude.
It's a movie, It's like Valerie Bertinelli. I waited for her, and then she goes and marries a rock and roll star.
How dare she?
How can I deal with that?
I don't know how you're supposed to deal with that.
Come on my radio show, Valerie. It was never going to work.
Yeah, would have worked with me. They're like, Lowetide really wants you on his show. And I was like, I guess I accept your job offer.
I like the music you play for intros. Some local artists would be cool to play, though. Can of Faith, Lie to Me, Moraine, Big Dog. There you go. Paul Sin. I love local music. So maybe that's something we can look into. I'd like to take Stu over Hellebuck in big games any day. Well, it's like, come on, there are just sometimes that a story becomes like Hellebuck will have his day in the sun. He will have a great playoff run. He will. He's a great player. So, I mean, I would, if the Jets offered Hellebuck, Bowman should just make that deal before they change their mind. It's like saying Clayton Kershaw isn't a great pitcher. Really?
He did have one good playoff run.
No, he did. I definitely wouldn't trade Skinner. I'd send down Pickard and add Bennington to share the net. I think Bennington could show Skinner some stuff.
It's nice in theory.
With Roslovic going down, would this be a good opportunity to bring Howard back? This is from Yukon Scott. If the team is going to struggle, it might as well use this opportunity to see what they have left in this player, have in this player. Here's what I will say. I would prefer they keep, I do not have any control over this, but I would prefer that they keep him in the AHL until they plan on bringing him back up and plugging him in and never taking him out of the lineup. I don't think you can, yo-yo this kid. He's down there and he's screaming. He's screaming successful. Just absolutely lights out. He's floating boats as a 20-year-old AHL rookie. He's all that. So don't leave him down there. Let him score 20 goals in 27 games, or whatever it is. Miro Shatan scored 24 goals in 25 games. Did you know that? In the AHL. And they called him up and didn't play him. Oh, my God, Oilers. Good afternoon, Lowetide. Could we not bring up Connor Ingram and send down Pickard? Would that not be an idea when the team is struggling from Darcy? Well, that is what I've been recommending. And my understanding is that they don't want to send Pickard down, or at least some, I heard a rumor that some members of the team were hoping that Pickard wouldn't get waived. But you can always bring up a third goaltender, We'll see. I think that's the play. I want dinner for one reason and one reason alone. I want an Oiler goalie fight. Spinner from Edmonton. LT, I've just heard that Jack Roslovic is going to miss multiple weeks. That hurts. Being outside a playoff spot at American Thanksgiving, any key injuries moving forward could put a damper on any team trying to make the playoffs. From Spinner. No, that's true. I'm not worried about the Oilers making the playoffs.
It is interesting that gets brought up because I was going to float that to you guys. Like, I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs either, obviously. But going into the season, I'll never say 100 because there's just always a degree of uncertainty. But going into the season, you're at like 99.99. The Oilers are going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
Like I said, I still very, very much believe they're going to be there. But I wonder at what point, if ever, it kind of becomes like, whoa, this is getting a little scary.
If it gets to game 40, they'll fire the coach.
Man.
You don't have any choice. You've got 40 games left to make the playoffs. This team has they're in the window to win. You've got 3 more years of McDavid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, it'll be 2.5.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to go for it. Now, I don't like, you can say, well, they should have signed Connor Brown or they should have signed Corey Perry. I think they'll be better in the second half. And I do think that Ike Howard might be a part of that. But if you like I think Chris Knobloch's a really good coach. And I think he will find a way. He has in the past, and they've ripped off 7-game winning streaks. I'm waiting for that to start. That's what I'm anticipating. But you, at some point in time, if you're the manager, Stan Bowman, you can't just let this keep happening. And they don't look organized. The captain is saying he's not sure about the solution. This is pretty serious stuff, and, they fired Jay Woodcroft. I wrote about him today in The Athletic, too. They fired him, and he was the guy who had Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl scoring the highest goal total in McDavid's career by far, and he was a creative offensive coach. I'm not saying they'll bring him back because I don't think they ever would, but the more pressure that comes down on Chris Knobloch, if they continue to not win more than they're losing, and right now they are losing more than they're winning, then the pressure gets greater. And believe me, Stan Bowman doesn't want to call up the owner and say, yeah, we signed him to a 3-year extension and now we need to let him go. Like, that's not a conversation you want to have with the owner. But are you willing to sacrifice one of your 3 McDavid seasons to get a lottery pick? That's not where they are right now, or shouldn't be. I think they need to work on the gap between the forwards and the defense. Everybody's got to do a little bit more work. They've got to get a little luckier, and they do need some stops. And I'm not exactly sure who's going to give them the stops.
Well, you and everyone else in the world right now.
Yeah. Rigg says Connor Ingram has 2 good games. He was in the player assistance program or whatever it's called for 2 years. Mental state is a huge factor before he comes up. It's true. There's no denying that. There's none whatsoever. But he's been in the AHL for a while. You're trying to get him coached up and get him to the point where he's feeling comfortable. And I would have the conversation. I'm hoping for an E-bug emergence to save the season. Who is the E-bug? They've only played 4 games versus the Pacific. Well, some of those Pacific teams, like in California, are real good this year.
They're 1-3 against the Pacific too. It was
LA and Anaheim are good teams.
Haven't played them.
Yeah.
I don't know who the Oilers E-bug is.
Gentlemen, they're not winning the Stanley Cup this year. Use this season to reload for the next 2 seasons.
You can't do that.
Well, if you don't trade for Binnington, you'll have a lot of cap this summer because a lot of players are coming off the cap. And maybe you can find a way to trade Nurse a year before the no movement, eases. There's a lot of things you can do in the summertime that you can't do now. And if you're adding a $6 million goaltender, you once again are handcuffing yourself for the future. My God, I hope Stan Bowman knows that. I'm sure he does. All right. 136. What do we want to do in the last segment? Do we want to talk NFL? You two Goomba trolls?
Your show. You can.
Your show.
Well, we've talked a lot of hockey, and
we have.
The NFL is like uber big. The Eagles are playing right now. Big weekend coming up.
Still 7-0 Bears, by the way.
Yeah, well,
and the Bears have the ball back.
The Eagles.
What a completion! Oh no, my apologies. This is the Eagles.
Okay, this play-by-play is
Devontae Smith,
rotten.
big catch. He just got 18 yards, I'd say.
Rotten to the core. All right, football next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Mr. Rooter watches the big game. Go deep! What you watching, Mr. Rooter? The Plumbing Olympics. Frankie Drain Dragon Sanchez is attempting to break the world record in the 100-meter snake. Watch! Wow! Did you see that? He snaked out a 50-pound clog. And in the middle of that wad, a gold medal. What theater?
Yeah, that's very cool, Mr. Rooter.
For a plumber who's good as gold, call Mr. Rooter.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and sadly some people think orthotics are just glorified shoe cushions. But I've seen a runner drop 8 minutes off her marathon, a grandmother ditch her painkillers, and a 12-year-old nail her long jump, all thanks to custom foot orthotics. So if your feet are screaming for help, flat, high, or funky, that pain's heading to your knees, hips, even your lower back, our professionals will assess you and, if indicated, custom fabricate a pair of orthotics made just for you. Happy feet make a happy person. Feet shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Hold up! Are you pulling my beard? Booster Juice has 2 new booster balls for the holidays this year.
That's right, Santa. The Eggnog Booster Ball and Caramel Pecan Pie Booster Ball are 2 new flavors to put some extra jingle in your step. So are you a pie guy, Santa, or a nog guy?
Both!
Good call. That's extra jolly. Happy holidays from your friends at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
It's the Nissan Black Friday event, a full month of excitement packed with awesome vehicles and exclusive offers. Right now, finance the Nissan Kicks for 0% for 24 months. Plus, get $1,000 Nissan bonus and enjoy an epic ride wherever you go. This Black Friday, we've got great offers and
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. Lance says Connor McDavid believes it's a cup year. He wrote it down for me and signed his name. I would have been at the autograph signing yesterday. Well, I bet Connor McDavid's personal belief in himself is through the moon. So that can't be a surprise. We keeping you up?
Yeah. It's just been a long week.
It has.
It's only going to get longer.
Watching lots of football.
Eagles kicked a field goal, by the way.
7-3.
7-3.
I feel like the Eagles are, I'm already pre-disappointed in them.
You should be, except the Bears are going to win this game. So,
well, the Eagles are not. Like, if they played the Cowboys right now, they'd lose in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
I wouldn't say no doubt, but that's an interesting point.
Okay, so we need to complete this. This is the epilogue. We had the Lane Kiffin talk an hour ago. We chewed through all the news we knew, and then now Ole Miss has won, and he was interviewed on the sidelines, and he gave the answer you know he was going to. I haven't made a decision yet. But you two, Jack-o'-lanterns, think he's gone for sure.
LSU.
Yeah, I think if he was going to stay, he would have said, no, I'm staying. So Enjoy Baton Rouge, Mr. Kiffin.
Because that is
You
where his
earned
daughter goes to school, right?
I think she actually goes to Ole Miss, but she's dating
Her
Whit
boyfriend
Weeks,
goes
who
to
plays on LSU's
So this
football
is,
team.
she'll transfer then.
Surely, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's probably part of the deal.
She'll be getting a free education wherever he goes. So,
Well, this is family business.
yep.
Yeah.
Got to take care of your kids. Listen, sometimes making $13.5 million a year as a coach isn't enough. You still need free tuition for your kids.
So what we're saying here is, if this is the Godfather, Ole Miss is Mo Green.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Sonny at the Causeway.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. NFL?
Let's talk a little NFL. So where do you want to go? We've seen some great football this week already. Those games yesterday were, at least a couple of them. What was the final score in the Cincinnati game?
That would have been
32.
32-18, I think.
Okay. Wow.
32-14.
That's my
Sports,
bad. Guys didn't know ball enough. Burrow looked great in his return.
Yeah.
I think they spent too much time running the ball, but Jamar Chase got 100 yards.
And he
so.
didn't get hurt, did he?
He did not get hurt.
so-
As a matter of fact, for a guy who gets sacked as often as he does, and should be scrambling out of the pocket, because when there's pressure coming in the pocket, you see a lot of quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Once the pressure comes in the pocket, he's so good at being able to scramble and make a play on the fly that he will just revert back to that. And Joe Burrow can do it as well. Josh Allen does it, but Joe Burrow, you'd watch the O-line not blocking for him incredibly well, but just calm, cool, collected, waited, found his guy, threw it out while there's two D linemen rushing him from the back.
Yeah. Do the Bengals offensive line know what they're supposed to do?
I pray that at least Orlando Brown Jr. knows what he's supposed to do, but I think they get it. Protect quarterback, make sure quarterback doesn't die. He buys them golf carts and all the other stuff just to make sure that he is in fact protected.
So, Chiefs, I want to ask you about this, Declan.
Yeah.
We talked earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That was a game they needed. They're 6-6-0. It was close, but they lost.
Yeah.
So they're 2 games behind the Chargers. Well, the Chargers have a game in hand. They're 2 losses behind the Chargers.
And they lost the head-to-head.
Right. And the Broncos have 4 fewer losses and a game in hand. So, how does the path to the playoffs for KC work?
I think realistically, it's 5 straight wins to finish the regular season. And we talked about this earlier in the show. That is going to be a tall task. Tennessee and Vegas, those are circle games. I'm not even thinking about it. They're going to win those 2 games. They're at 8-6. Houston, that's a tough game. Denver again, that's a tough game. LA again, I think they'll win that one, but let's not pretend that's not going to be a semi-tough divisional game. But even still, even if you want to give that one a circle as well, you're going to be 9-6. Those 2 games against Houston and Denver are going to be huge. You don't have margin for error. You don't have any opportunity to slip up. I think they're going to mess around and be a 10-7 team. They might even be 9-8. And that, quite frankly, is just it's not the Kansas City we've come to know. And I think, does it signal the end of an era? It might.
Was that a safety?
I think they're going to give him forward progress up at the 1.
Okay.
Little Georgia Tech update for anyone listening. They are going to.
Did you figure out why it's called hate?
So yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, this game, Georgia Tech, is called clean old-fashioned hate. Looked into the etymology, couldn't find anything.
Deep rooted in the South.
Yeah.
So what games do you like? I'm looking at all these games, and
do we want to run through them? Give a little prediction?
Real quick. Okay, let's do it. Bears, Eagles.
Right now, listen, the Bears are winning.
There's a safety.
It's still 7. Yeah,
it's still 7-3.
It's over. Congrats, Georgia. You are 11-1 again. I like the Eagles to come back and win a tight, close one in this. And it's not really a comeback. It's 4 points early-ish in the game.
Okay, Saints, Dolphins.
I like the Saints.
They really.
I do.
The Dolphins are kind of playing good on offense.
Kind of rolling.
I don't mind them at all. Line is 5.5 at home. I actually would have had it closer to 6.5 or 7.5. So I'll roll with Miami.
I think I like the Saints more. They're always just for whatever reason, except going up against the powerhouses, they always just seem to be in it.
They didn't call that a safety. That's garbage. Okay, Texans, Colts.
Oh, Colts.
I kind of like the Texans on the
Oh,
road,
this is
man. They're
interesting.
playing
This
so
is
well.
interesting.
They're playing so well lately. They just handled Buffalo. Everything seems to be looking better on the defensive side of the ball for Houston compared to earlier in the season. I don't mind Houston in this one. I'm not going to lie to you. I like them to at least cover, but I honestly like them to win straight up.
I will tune in just because you said that, because I want to see competitive football. Falcons, Jets. Speaking of competitive football,
Whatever the opposite of that is.
Yeah.
We got that one here in this game. I'll go with the Jets simply because they're at home. I don't know.
The Jets have to win one, essentially. No,
probably gonna end up
I think
being
it's the Falcons. Bijan Robinson, big day for him.
49ers, Browns.
I like the Browns.
Do you actually?
The defense.
Well, in
The team still, the 49ers are still so beat up.
They are beat up, man. But they're
they had
nearly
the
5-point
Browns had
favorites on the
9
road.
sacks last week.
Hey, there's the city in the
They had
desert.
10
Okay. And there's a city in the desert because they get lines like this right. I'm taking San Francisco
I-
at -4.5.
I'm inclined to believe you, but like I'm not going to be surprised if the Browns somehow win this game.
Rams, Panthers.
Rams by 1,000,000.
Man, I really hate to just keep disagreeing with Josh so vehemently here. I do think the Rams win, but I think the Panthers at home, like they've been really good at home this year. I think they can keep it sneaky
They
close.
lost
until
to the
it's
Saints
close.
at home.
Are you two trying to make this
They
week
did lose that
interesting for
divisional
me?
game.
Because I thought these were all slam dunks, and you guys keep disagreeing.
I do think the Rams win, and I do think they cover late, but I think the game is competitive.
It's going to be
throughout.
closer than it looks. I think Rams by 1,000,000. They're absolutely rolling.
Jaguars, Titans.
Stinker.
Jags. But the Jags probably by a lot.
Okay.
The Titans are so bad, and it kind of breaks
they're
my heart.
So bad at football.
They should get Jeff Fisher back. Cardinals, Buccaneers.
That is the
What's the
definition
line
of
in
a
this one?
-4.
Oh, okay, it moved from this morning, or because I think it was like -3, and the Bucks are at home.
Yeah,
This is
such-
disrespectful to the Bucks.
They've been bad though.
They have
they're
been bad, but
they're
this
1-4 in their last 5.
Yes, but this is this week of the season where in the Baker Mayfield era they turn it around.
This is a get right spot for them.
This is that. I like the Bucks in this one.
Vikings, Seahawks.
Seahawks by a lot.
They have like the second best defense in the league.
The Seahawks might win by 4 scores.
And
Bills,
Jacob
Bills,
McCarthy's
Steelers.
terrible.
Bills.
I like the Bills. This is going to be. I think this is going to be a tough one though.
I kind of agree. Like I'm picking the Bills to win, but I don't think any game the Bills are in is just a circle guaranteed win. Like they're gonna have to earn it, and they have not earned it in spots this year. Most notably Miami, Atlanta, and Houston last time out. They're going to have to earn it. I think they can, but I don't think you pencil in a dub here.
Raiders, Chargers.
Raiders. I mean, Chargers are beat up, but the Raiders are like right there on the Titans.
I actually think the Raiders are worse than the Titans right now. I know, like they're playing such bad football.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Sunday nighter, Broncos, Commanders.
Give me the Broncos.
That's going to be the Broncos.
Who's,
Probably by a
who's,
lot.
who's quarterback for Commanders right now?
Marcus Mariota.
All right. Well, I don't know. And then the Giants, Patriots on December 1.
Hey,
Give me the
happy
Pats.
Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah, give me the Pats. But Jameis Winston has a 350-yard game, so everyone kind of wins.
Yeah, it's going to be an entertaining watch. That's for sure. Love Jameis. Every team in the league needs Jameis Winston as a quarterback.
Tusk says, Deck, I want Garrett to get 24 sacks this year.
Oh, I would love for him to break the sack record. I think it would be unbelievable for the sport. People are talking about him in MVP conversations, and what he is doing is unbelievable. Like the fact that he's on.
We had
pace
this
for-
argument on Monday.
This could be the trade deadline because now
No.
you've got this guy
This is the argument
who's
we had.
having his whole career year, and you can't even get
But
because his
Lowetide.
team is like snot ball every year.
This happened 2 or 3 months ago.
This is frustrating.
No, he went to the team and he said, trade me. And they said, okay, we're going to trade you. Then he came back to them and he said, wait, hold on a second. How about you give me $160 million over 4 years instead? And they said, okay, Myles Garrett, we can do that. He has made his bed. It is time to lie in it. You don't get to complain anymore. Myles Garrett, you made your decision.
He hasn't
I
been
like
complaining,
the
though.
best
he
player should be in the playoffs.
Not
Give
this
this.
year.
This is nuts.
No, it's sad. It sucks. It sucks for Myles Garrett.
It sucks for football.
Yeah, it's great to see the best players in the playoffs. He is absolutely one of the best players in the league, and he's not going to be there. But this is self-inflicted. He had a chance to leave. The organization was ready to trade him. He changed his mind.
Imagine him with the Eagles. Like, just put him on the Eagles.
Keep dreaming, pal.
I'm going to come over there.
You want Michael Jordan too?
Yes, thank you. I would like that. That would be very. And if we could get the ball to the wideouts a little more often, that would be nice. And if Barkley could pick up his game, that would help too.
It's funny you bring up Saquon, and I guess we got to hit the outro here. But how have you felt about his game this year?
No,
he hasn't.
It seems like he ran it all out last year, and he's got nothing left. That's how I feel. I feel like he's not the back he was. And maybe the Giants traded him 1 year early, or got rid of him 1 year early.
Well, what a year it was.
Oh, God, I'll never forget it. I mean, he's one of my favorite players ever because of what he did a year ago. That was fantastic. All right. Go Eagles. We'll be talking about the Oilers. Jason Krueger will have more on a very busy day in terms of updates from the coach on injuries, and talk about the Oilers this weekend, too, against the Kraken. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your weekend.
This is a Sports 1440 update.